Hello everyone, welcome to my July update. I had loads to tell you and I've been telling myself the past few weeks to make a list, and I didn't make a list and now I've forgotten half of what I wanted to say, but there you go. Anyway, I've had quite a productive month actually. I've had 4 finishes, yes 4, that's the most I've ever done I think, and I've got a new start. I have to say I did have, at the beginning of the month I was going through quite a bad time with family problems, but I must say stitching has been an absolute salvation and it just got me through it all, and I think that's why I've been so productive, because my needle's just not stopped. But anyway, that's all behind me. Power on. Yeah, so 4 finishes. My first finish was the railway cottage, which I'll insert a picture of. Actually I'll probably have to put it at the end because I'm just seem to be useless at editing these videos, but I'll try and put a picture in if I can. If not, the picture's at the end. Anyway, if you saw the video of the time lapse, you will have seen it anyway. You know, the time lapse that I did of it, and I was really pleased with it. I can't show it you now, and the reason that I'll be showing you, and obviously the reason for that is because one of my carers, she took a real liking to it and she wanted it. So because I tend to stitch a lot of the things just for the sake of stitching it, I'm always happy if somebody wants it, they can have it, and that's that. So she's taken it and it's just nice to know that, you know, somebody's going to have it framed and is going to be looking at it. So that was Railway Cottage. The second one, it's here. It was just a little card that I've done for my mum. It's not her birthday till next week, but she doesn't have the internet, so she's not going to see this. And it's very sparkly, I have to warn you, because mum loves her sparkle. And it was this. It was a free kit from, I think it was World of Cross Stitching magazine, but I sort of adapted it a little bit. I've put it on sparkly Ada, and I put blending filament in the flowers and the butterfly wings, and I also put some beads on the flowers just for effect. So move it closer for you, hope the camera focuses, and that was that. So obviously that didn't take me long, but I like to sort of break up some of the bigger projects with doing something small like that. The third finish, again I'll have to insert a photo or show the photo at the end because it's hung on my wall just behind me. It was a free design, and I will include the link for the design below, just about cats. And one of my friends, Catherine, she's a friend and a neighbour and also a fellow stitcher, and she sent me the link, and of course as soon as I saw it I thought, oh yes, I'd love to do that. And it was a nice quick stitch. I think it only took me about 3 days, something like that. I adapted it again a little bit. I put blending filament in the letters, and in the little hearts around the border, just had to check what I put it on, and I also did that on sparkly Ada as well, because I must admit I think I've definitely got a lot of my mum in me and I like sparkle as well. And I've actually framed that myself. It's the first thing I've ever framed, just because, well, it's about cats, so I had to frame it. Then what was after that? What was my 4th finish? Oh yes, it was Emmy and Beth's door plaque that I originally, well, it was meant to start as a door plaque, and it's I've done a little separate video of that, which I hope I can insert now. This is the cross stitch that I did for my nieces. It started off, it was just meant to be a door plaque for the bedroom that they have at my house, and honey, get off it please. I just got a bit carried away. I used patterns from various magazines. Well, it was all Cross Stitch Crazy actually, but from some of their various magazines. Oh, honey, get off it. thank you. And it's all things that they like. Honey, can you please get off it? There's just a little fairy there, because, you know, all girls love fairies. Some owls, which Emmy loves owls. There's the word Frozen for the film, obviously, that they all love. And the Kitty Crew, which is what my cats are all called. I'm sorry the camera's so wobbly, it's because Honey tends to be a little bit of a biter, and she's trying to bite me as I'm filming. Anyway, there's a little cat, because obviously they love cats like their auntie. Ice cream, because they both love their ice cream, and I just love the cute little faces on them. There's music, because you know, especially Emmy, now she's a teenager, loves the music. And that's McBusted for Emmy. That's a combined group of McFly and Busted. They got together for McBusted, and she went to their concert, her first ever concert, for her 13th birthday. And there's a mobile phone, because Beth likes to ring me on her mobile phone. Emmy has an iPod, but it looks like a mobile phone, basically. Well, no, it doesn't look, anyway. And then there's the word Tammy, because that's my dog, and Beth especially loves her. And there's a little dog. Hey. Oh. Because it was meant to have a tail just there, but I miscounted, so I chopped its tail off, but I don't think you can tell. And there's some sweets, because Beth especially loves her sweets. She's always seems to be full of sugar. And the names, I did Emmy in blue, because that's her favourite colour, and Beth in purple, because that's her favourite colour, and I combined the two there. So that's the plaque I made for them. I just need to get it framed now. My friend took me to the framers yesterday and it was shut, but I'm sure I'll get it framed at some point. Right, I hope that worked. So the next topic is, oh no, hang on, I need to show you what I've started, don't I? Yes, because this actually leads on to what I wanted to talk about next. So my new start is Paula Vaughan's Through a Father's Eyes, which is that one. I have to excuse all the rips and tears in the cardboard, because they used to be kept under my bed, and the cats used to be able to open the drawers, and they kind of chewed a lot of it. If you remember, I did Through a Mother's Eyes. Stupidly, I didn't check the fabric that was in it. I just assumed, because Through a Mother's Eyes was done on 32 count linen, which was included in the kit, because as you'll probably know if you see my stash video, I'm more of a kit person than a pattern and kit them up yourself kind of person. So yeah, so I just assumed that this would be the same, but when I opened it, it was 14 count Ada. Now I could have got some 28 count even weave, but because I'm so impatient I wanted to start it, and that was that. I didn't want to go to 32 count simply because the design dimensions are almost identical to Through a Mother's Eyes, and because they're meant to go together, because like Through a Mother's Eyes is sort of, it's just like the, you know, the wardrobe's on that side, the mirror's on that side, the mother's facing that way, so they are meant to be hung together. And if I'd done it on 32 count, obviously it would have made the dimensions smaller, and so I've just gone ahead and started it on the 14 count. Now there's not much to show you at this point, and I don't even know if you can see it, because it's oh, that's the wrong way around. It's cream on cream. Oh. But I've only spent a few hours on it so far, and that's what I've done. But I don't even know if you can see that, because it's just cream on cream. Now that leads into my next topic, which is Millennium frame. Yes, it finally came. It took 3.5 months, but it finally arrived, and I love it. It's brilliant. Tension's not on it at the moment, but I mean, obviously that's no tension, because when you're not stitching on it, you're meant to release the tension. But if I can do it from this direction. As you see, you don't need to overwind it, but I don't know whether you can hear that. A bit more. It's absolutely tight as a drum. And what is special, because although I could get the tension really, you know, a nice tension in the middle on my scroll frame, the sides were just always so loose, and especially when you're stitching on like linen, which is a very soft fabric anyway, it just used to drive me mad at the end. But I mean, as you can see, even the ends are nice and taut, and I just love it. And the smaller projects that I've done this month, I actually borrowed one of my mum's smaller scroll frames, because I haven't got very many small scroll frames, because I always do big projects instead of little. So I had to go back to using a scroll frame, and I hated it. I could not wait to get back to my my Millennium frame. I went for a bigger one simply because I do usually, like I said, bigger projects, and this is a smaller one for me as well. But obviously, you know, you can fit a smaller project on a larger frame, but not vice versa. But I've actually ordered some of the smaller side stretches as well, because I thought the 12 to 14 inches would be fine for me, but they're not, because I'm only little and I've only got little arms, and I'm struggling to reach these top bits. Although I do like having the whole fabric exposed, that's nice. So I've already ordered some smaller side stretchers, and I think for Christmas I'll be asking my dad and my mum if they would buy me, I'd like a bigger selection of bars. I'd like the next size up to this, and I'd also like a few smaller ones just in case I do smaller projects over the time. So that's my Millennium frame, and if any of you out there are sort of, you know, wondering should I, shouldn't I would say if you're prepared to wait, get one, because they are just amazing. You know, I've been stitching for 25 years and I've tried everything. Apart from Q-snaps, I must admit I've not tried them. I've never even heard of them until I started watching YouTube videos. So with the exception of Q-snaps, I think I've tried virtually everything over the years, and this is by far the best. Definitely. Just let me release the tension a bit, because I will be stitching soon, but not just yet. And I would say as well, if you don't use a stand, if you buy a bigger Millennium frame, you'll need a stand, because they are heavy, but they are so well made. You know, they really are. They're absolutely unbelievable, and the customer service is fantastic, because I did sort of contact them a few times wondering where it was, and Marissa at Needle Needs, well, she almost became a friend really with all the conversations, but she was lovely and so helpful and so nice. But I will include a link below. Next, yes, that was haul. Now, I have had a small haul this month, which is very unusual for me, because I have self-imposed ban on buying things, just because my stash will last me until the day I die. Saying that I have added to it this month, which I shouldn't have done, but because I've got such a large stash, I don't have any need to buy anything, and I try and stop myself from buying anything. And if I want things like, well, yeah, okay, I bought the Millennium frame, okay, but that aside, if I want anything, then usually I do save it for birthdays and Christmases, when I can ask good old mum and dad if they'll buy me something. But I have bought a few things this month. Well, the first thing wasn't a buy, because it was free. I wanted to try the Pick to Pat site, because I'd heard a lot about it, and I wanted something for my mum, and I put in a picture of it's the dog that I will say we had. Obviously, me and my brother grew up and left home. Mum and dad were together then. The dog was still there, and he died about 8 years ago, and he was nearly 15. But I took a picture by chance just a couple of days before he died, and it was one of the best pictures ever taken of him. So I put that into the website to see what would come out, and the result was really, really good. Now, Mum, like me, only ever does one project at a time, and she's working on Heaven and Earth at the moment, which I bought the pattern as a belated Mother's Day present, and she subsequently kitted it up and started it, so she'll be quite a long time on that one yet, but then she wants to do this one. Anyway, because the results of it were so good, I thought, well, I'll give it a try myself. And I've done it with one of my dogs that he passed away just before Chip did, actually, Fabian. He was a yellow Labrador. He was a retired guide dog, or I think you call them in the States seeing eye dogs. He was just, oh, it was brilliant. And this is the picture that's come out. If you can see it there. That's my Fabian. Now, I did it, I can't even remember what count I put in for it. Let me have a look at the thing at the end. And I haven't even put what kind of fabric I put it on. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Well, I can't remember what count I put it in at, but there's quite a few colours in it as well, you can see. Oh, I'm just trying to think. You would have thought it'd print that on it, wouldn't you? What count you'd put on it and what it. But it doesn't say. So I'm not sure. But anyway, there's a fair few colours in it, and well, whatever I did it. And I've got a feeling I put it in at 32 count, doing 2 over 2. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I would have thought it should say on it really, shouldn't it? But anyway, so obviously that was free. Now the next thing only cost me £1, and this is for my niece, Beth. She's 10 in September, and she's been showing an interest in cross stitches for quite a while. Like when she's at my mum's house. My mum's house is just a cross stitch gallery. There's cross stitches everywhere you look, and she's always asking about them. She couldn't understand why they were all designed by somebody called Anne, until my mum said, actually that's my name and it's just me that's sewn them. But she's always been interested in those, and whenever she comes to my house she's always interested to see what I'm doing. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, so excuse me, I'm going to have a drink, hang on. Good old English cup of tea. A few weeks ago, when they stay over at my house quite a lot, and she, like her sister, was upstairs listening to music, as teenagers do, but Beth was asking about what I was doing, and at the time I was stitching the cat cross stitch, the free one, so she asked me to show her. But she was quite funny because I was trying to show her like how I do it two-handed, but I also showed her one-handed. But because it's on a stand, when she was putting the needle in at the top, pulling it through at the bottom, she couldn't seem to coordinate where to put the needle in from underneath, so she had to keep crawling underneath the frame and looking underneath and poking the needle up. So I thought it'd be better to have something that she could do in hand really, and obviously something a bit easier than that. So I was out yesterday with my friend Catherine, who I mentioned before, and we went to the range, which has, well, as the name suggests, has a range of things, but it also has a fair craft area. Very little cross stitch as usual here in the UK. You hardly ever see cross stitch around anywhere, but I did find this just for £1. And it's just a nice and easy butterfly done on Binker, and you actually stick the pattern underneath it and you sew through the pattern. And so it's on Binker, it's got a nice chunky needle and some wool, so I thought that might be a good idea. Don't worry, I will be buying her other things, I'm not just spending £1 on her, but I thought that would be one little present that she might like to do. And I thought, we'll keep it here at my house, and then she can sit and stitch it with me, hopefully, as I stitch mine. So that was that. I got these little pins as well, just simply because, like sometimes, well, I thought this one was going to be 32 count linen that I'm doing now, but it's not. But I thought about gridding it, but I also wondered about trying with pins. I've got some big pins thought then I can put them in, then count 10 along, put another pin in, and just work sort of a few pins at a time, rather than trying, you know, and spending the time gridding it. But I'm not sure, we'll see how they work out. Even if it doesn't work out, they're pretty. I like pretty things. Now the rest of my haul I can't actually show you. Well, I did get some DNC flosses, but you know, they're just DNC flosses, so there's no point showing you those. But the other things haven't arrived. I hope they'd arrive in time to do this video, but they haven't. One of them is, I bought Heaven and Earth. I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist it, I couldn't help it. I shouldn't be buying more patterns to do when I've got enough to last me a lifetime, but I just couldn't resist buying one, and I'm really, really sorry for myself for buying one, because I shouldn't, because I've just got so much to do. Yeah, so I've bought Heaven and Earth. I've bought the actual pattern rather than printing it off, because I just think they look better. And I can't even remember the name of the design at the moment, but I'll find it and I'll put a picture in here. Yeah, so it's really pretty. I can't wait to see it. What else? Oh, I ordered some beautiful fabric from Jodyri Designs, some hand-dyed fabric for my mermaid, which I meant to have to show you, but I've just remembered I've forgotten that, but I'll put a picture of that in. It's the Mirabilia mermaid that I'm going to do for the stitch along. Now I bought the kit with it, you know, somebody had kitted it up, but they'd put 14 count Ada in, I didn't want to do that one, to do it on 32 count linen, and so I thought I'd try a hand dyed. And after seeing Mrs. Milkyback talk about Jodyri Designs and how good they are, and I am on their Facebook group, I thought I'd have a look, but I was just spoilt for choice, and I wasn't sure, you know, just from looking at a picture, which would be the best. So I actually emailed Michelle at Jodyri Designs, and she emailed me back the next day, you know, saying actually the two that I had thought about she agreed with, she thought they would be good for it, or she also told me two others if I wanted to go for slightly more pinks in it. Anyway, I went for the blue, and it's called Sapphires. I did want the opal, but she only went up to 28 counts in the opal, so I've just gone for the plain one. And I'm going to need a drink again, I'm sorry, I've got a dry throat. Better. So I can't wait for that to come. And also, while I was on their site, I joined her Fabric of the Month club, where you get a limited edition piece of fabric every month, and I can't wait for that to come as well, because I don't know what it's going to be. So yeah, so I had kind of hoped they'd be here, but I only ordered it over the weekend. It's only Tuesday, so it's early days really for it to have arrived. Was there anything else in my haul? Was there anything else? I can't remember. Anyway, that leads me on to my final topic, you'll be glad to know, because this is dragging on a bit, which is Haute jars. Now, I only found out about, I'd never heard of haute jars until April it was, so I only started this haute jar in April. Now, my thing is, I just wondered if anybody else is so OCD about this when they're stitching. It's that when I'm stitching, when I'm getting to the end of the piece of floss that I'm working with, I have to get as much out of it as I possibly can. I even turn the needle upside down to stitch that way to get an extra few stitches out of it. And I just wondered if anybody else is like that, or is it just me, because it does mean that your resulting end bits, let me find a good example, yes, end up as big as that. I don't know whether you can see that, how tiny that is. but that is literally all I have left. And I just wondered if anybody else is like me, but because of this, I mean obviously there is the odd exception, you know, because of this, that is all I've filled since April, so it is going to last me, I don't know, it's going to take me ages to fill it. I just wondered, is anybody else the same, or is it just a Kerryism? I don't know, it's strange, but I am strange, so and I think that's about it so far. Oh, I did watch, oh god, I can't remember whose video I was watching yesterday, when she made a cross stitch tool time tag, which is just where you talk about, well, she did say originally you talk about your 5 favourite tools that you use when cross stitching, but then she said, well, just, you know, tools that you use, so I thought that would be a really good idea, so I'll do that in the next week, and also I'll show you my beautiful new fabrics when they arrive. Yeah, so other than seeing you in the cross stitch tag, that's my update for July. I'm going to post an update every month, and also, you know, if there's any tags or whatever, or anything I want to say in between. But that's it for July. So I can't believe I've not been interrupted by any cats, apart from when I was doing the video for Emmy and Beth's piece. But yeah, that's it. So happy stitching, everyone.